I watched the Super Bowl. I texted Will about the demise of the Chiefs, and he said, "Why are you watching, lol?" To which I responded with, "It's because I don't want to be deported, because I want to make sure that the authorities that are monitoring my activity for un-American activities know full well that I am American as hell." Okay, I'm so goddamn American. I said to myself, I can't understand what that Kendrick is saying. I don't even know. It seems it was an awful halftime show. What an awful halftime show that was. That's what I said. That's how American I am. Please don't deport me. I love that, like, the Republican racist line. No matter who it is, if it's a black person, they will always find something. Like, they'll be like, "Oh, this was too sexual." And if it's not sexual, then they'll just be like, "I don't understand what he's saying." It's like, how is that like, what do you mean you don't understand what he's saying? That's like a you problem, I think. And honestly, here we are. I feel American as hell. Okay. Meanwhile, the United States of America is collapsing. Things are worse than ever before. And we're going to get to talking about that, of course. We'll react to the Super Bowl commercials and maybe the halftime show. Obviously, this year's Super Bowl meta is AI, as was last year. The year prior to that was, of course, NFTs. Or 2 years prior to that, I believe, was NFTs. All right, what is Will saying?
Because I'm gonna be real with you. With peace and love to both these groups of people. The bandwagon.
Dude, what is up with the? I bet Marsh fixed it. No, he didn't. He's in Japan. I fixed it. The clip is completely broken. God, Twitch's clipping capabilities have gotten worse. I don't know how that's possible. But nowadays, I feel like anytime I watch a Twitch clip, it's just like it's desynced every time.
Because I'm gonna be real.
Oh, here it is. It's working.
Peace and love to both these groups of people. The bandwagoners and the Taylor Swift nation were eaten high on the hog. All of these recent Chiefs fans and all of these new to football Taylor Swifties were like, "So is it just this easy? Do we just win all the time? 3 years in a row. This is great." They learned a valuable lesson. They learned a valuable fucking lesson about.
Yeah, they don't care, which is precisely the reason why tomorrow they're just going to forget everything about football. Like, especially the bandwagoners. Like, they don't care. They don't care about the well-being of the Chiefs. They don't even care about Travis Kelce that much. You know what I mean? They'll drop Travis Kelce.
Valuable fucking lesson about football. Any given Sunday, this is a tough game.
Every time you pause, the clip
it don't matter.
breaks.
If you're Patrick King Kong football Jesus, no. Any given Sunday, you can get your ass beat in front of everybody. You can get, okay? Because
Yeah, Twitch clips suck. When you pause, it just like bricks it. Yeah, that is what happened. I mean, it was pretty crazy. The satanic connection that Mahomes has with Kelce, and I mean all the gifts that young Pat got his O-line. I guess it was nothing. MAGA Holmes with his family connection directly to Donald Trump. All of it came together. All the cards were set. The Trump administration is winning. They're winning so much, you're going to get tired of winning. And it turns out, nope, not even a little bit. Patrick Mahomes was no match for the crack attack Cooper DeJean, the spiciest white boy in Philly. Yeah, I saw a Nick Adams tweet about that. Nick Adams did some... Nick Adams said Cooper DeJean is playing a role that like white men were told that they can't play. So he did a lot for white boys last night, which I thought was really funny. That's a very funny way to look at the situation. Anyway, yeah, we'll get into it. Let me blast off and then we'll get into it. There's obviously the halftime show as well. Cooper DeJean gets back when he gets back to Philly. We have two white boys with sauce on our team. Yeah. Thank you, Themasius, for the playlist. The Jackie Robinson of cornerbacks. It's so stupid, man. Do we have a blast off meme? All right, I'll just probably use this one. All right, let's blast off. Let's do it. YouTube media literacy is slowing us down. Tools to fight back in the attention economy. That's a 41-minute video. I don't have the attention span for that. I'm gonna keep it $1.50 with you. In any case, hold on. Will mention Kojima Studios fell through. Did they not want to stream or something? No, it just fell through. I don't know. They're working real hard on their new game right now. All right, let's do it. Let's blast off. Okay. Gazans have no right to return. Hamas postpones hostage release due to Israel Violations. Overzealots came out with a banger. How rich countries keep poor countries in poverty and why. Nice. This channel is increasingly becoming one of my favorite channels. We'll definitely watch this video as well. Trump says Gazans have no right to return. Hamas postpones hostage release due to Israel violations. Super Bowl drama. Conservatives mad at anti-pedo sentiment. What else was I gonna talk about today? I guess that's it. It's good enough for today. For the blast off, there was so much pregame propaganda, it felt like more than usual. 2 different patriotic songs at Navy plug. I mean, not necessarily. That's just the Super Bowl, you know? It's an American institution, and it often gets talk about Montoya. I did. I talked about Montoya on the podcast. I think it's pretty funny that they did a flyover over a dome, over the Superdome. Like the roof is closed. What are you flying over? And it's Ospreys too. So I guess that's the reason why they did Ospreys, because like the dome is at least like has a high likelihood of falling. But they were like, hey, even if it falls, there's at least a dome to protect the people. Okay. The Navy plug or military plug is not free. The NFL charges them. They don't care about vets. Respect. Trump making bribery legal again? I mean, it already is. It already is. So I'm glad that they're deregulating. Also, they're deregulating bribery, which they made legal already. Okay, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. We're blasting off. They used to charge, not anymore after people got angry. They should still charge the military. Why does the military get to do free ads? I think it's fine. NRP mentioned how CFPP brings more money than it costs, Lamau. Did you see the Canadian ads of the Super Bowl? No. Bro saw X glazing on the timeline. Bro saw X's glazing Drake on the timeline. It was so funny. Look at this take.
It's a miss because a bunch of 6-year-old white people are sitting in their chair. Brother, that's the target audience. You're not selling that to like some like a high schooler, like fucking like super connected. Bro, it's the target audience. It's football. It's football. Oh my God.
Why was he so mad? Like, I get it. He did a whole collab with Drake, like they're besties and stuff. They're sponsored by the same crypto gambling casino. But like, I just don't understand why you would go this hard. Like many Drake fans that wanted to say this performance sucked, at least went through different avenues of being like, oh, we should have gotten Lil Wayne, who literally, if you've ever seen his like last couple of live performances, you would know why Lil Wayne wasn't the person who was actually, you know, despite being from Louisiana, Lil Wayne wasn't the right person for the job. Okay. He's just not capable of doing live performances in general. I can show you that in a second. The state contract includes a fuck Hassan clause and a glazed Drake clause. Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a glazed Drake clause in there, but I'm beginning to find out that there certainly is one, it seems. But you don't even look at us when you talk anymore. What? I don't even know what you mean by that. Weezy is historically known for being not very good live. Drake is red pill adjacent. I don't even think he's red pill adjacent. I don't actually think. Like, you'll say he is. Like, I think he's just, his biggest crime is being weird to women and girls specifically. And also simultaneously being incredibly insecure and corny. Like, that is what it is. Like, I think the kick streamers don't actually glaze Drake for the red pill adjacent stuff. I think they glaze him because they can get a collab out of it, or they're hired by the same company pretty much. I would call that red pill adjacent. Okay. I would have said you were right like 10 years ago, but the way people are coming out to defend him are the same type of way people defend Kanye. I think that chatter was correct. I don't know. I mean, I think I wouldn't put Drake and Kanye in the same category. I feel like Kanye is definitely Kanye's done a lot more. Like, Drake is red pilled in the way that like most male celebrities are red pilled, where they just like actively will say misogynistic shit. You know what I mean? It's not like I don't know. I don't think that he's like above and beyond red pilled. You know what I mean? Yeah, Drake is coworker adjacent, not Kanye red pill adjacent. Okay, fair. Like his most like red pill adjacent thing is that he just like links up with DJ Academics quite a bit. Like, that is the most red pill you can get.
Oh my god. Hey, bro, I'm gonna lose my fucking does rap, and it played on the radio a fuck ton. He gained that status. Kendrick does not have that status. Yo, he's boasted for years about being, nah, I'm not like them. I don't sell out. I don't know that. I stand with my shit, whatever. I'm more like this. And the reality is, the analytics go with that. people that are outside the scope of hip hop and rap, they barely get a glimpse of Kendrick. So the fact that you guys think that like, oh yeah, it's a great fit, guys, everybody knows Kendrick, everybody knows his new song, whatever. No, they don't. They barely heard about it. Like, you are insane. And either you're
He's trying to say that Kendrick is not mainstream and that most people don't know about his music and that Drake is a more mainstream artist and that Drake would have been a better person to play at the Super Bowl in comparison to Kendrick Lamar. And he's also saying that people don't know Not Like Us. Now, of course, that part is completely wrong. I think a lot of people know who Kendrick is. And he also just, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say like Grammys are not an indication of a mainstream popularity. You could still make that argument, I guess, if you want to. It wouldn't not be the best argument to make, but you could make an argument. You can be a commercial success and not win any Grammys. So you can kind of say that, I guess. Except having said that, the videos from inside of the stadium show that XQC is definitely wrong. Especially considering that people were calling Drake a pedophile. Basically, everyone in the stadium sang the A minor side of the song. They sang the pedophile certified, lover boy certified pedophile part of the song. So when you got the whole stadium going crazy, I think at that point it's like probably a pretty decent indicator that the song is popular.
You're like rewriting how all these analysts work is crazy. Brother, Drake discography eclipses the one from fucking... forget about Drake. A bazillion pop artists. Absolute eclipse his entire existence. But guys, it's the biggest song of the year because of Spotify analytics. We must play this. We need this guy. People are going to be loving this.
I guess the other Glazer side of this is to say that like Drake made Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Like, I guess it's trying to say like Kendrick Lamar isn't popular on his own. Like that's his. Okay, first of all, I am doing Pepega translation here. For those of you who don't know, people can't comprehend what XQC is saying. And after many, many years of dealing with XQC, I have been able to pick up on his speech patterns. So this is not my opinion. Okay. The things that I'm saying right now are not my own personal opinions. Make no mistake. I am simply translating what XQC is saying. Okay. I do not agree with his statements. Just so you understand. XQC here is, I believe, making the argument that Kendrick Lamar is not individually popular and that the reason why, I mean, he's elevated by the industry and that the only reason why he was even popular or his song was even popular is because he went after Drake. Drake is a significantly more popular artist than Kendrick Lamar. That's what he's saying. Okay. I do not agree with this statement. I think Kendrick is an individually successful and individually popular artist with or without the Drake beef. Okay. I just want people to understand. I do not think that, I mean, while I do think that They Not Like Us, classic anti-Semitism against a successful Jewish rapper. I'm surprised I haven't heard that yet. I guess the Snoop Dogg Stop Anti-Semitism ads did not take Adam Friedland, Kendrick Lamar. It would have been nice if you apologized to Drake and the Jewish community, but sigh. They Not Like Us. We all know who they is. That's amazing. That's true. Drake did claim it was anti-Semitic in a lawsuit. He did say that. What's really interesting is that, and perhaps a lot of people in my community are going to get mad at me and immediately say that like I'm a white boy who doesn't understand. But I think Kendrick Lamar did not go anywhere near as hard as he could have. And he had toned it down tremendously in terms of like making political statements. I think he went super balanced, and that it was all right. Like I think Kendrick Lamar's performance left much to be desired on my end. That's what I think. I think it was good, but I expected amazing. That's what I thought. Regardless of the Super Bowl, I think that juxtaposition of Kendrick Lamar being Kendrick Lamar at the Super Bowl, a person who transcends like a brand as powerful as the Super Bowl, I think was nowhere near as hard. And before you say, oh, you don't understand, like Uncle Sam, I get it. No, I'm saying that was nowhere near what my expectations were. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I mean? Like, I'm not saying there wasn't any politics involved in it or that I didn't understand the political messages within the within the performance. No, I'm saying I got it, but it was less than I expected. That's all I'm saying. Here's the breakdown if you want.
You wanted that performance to have been about Drake. You want to highlight A minor, which was a minor part of the performance.
Yeah, I that's not what I'm talking about. I was not. I thought he wouldn't have even talked about Drake. Maybe like I thought that would have been a message in and of itself. I thought he was gonna go ham on just politics. Like you got to do obviously Not Like Us. It's his biggest song. It's his most popular song from this last album. But my expectation 100% was that he was going to go way harder. Kendrick did what I hope he'd do. Didn't try to do too much. Snuck in some little stuff. Kind of meta commentary on what he was participating in. Whole new song too, which I assume is coming soon. Drake shade was quite satisfying. Serena cameo at the end. Kendrick is not that profound. What? He absolutely is. That's the thing. That is the one thing he is. What are you talking about? You could say like, oh, he doesn't have a lot of hits that are super popular or whatever, right? I mean, you can't say that any longer, but like, but that's the one thing that he does like the most, which is why my expectations, I mean, you're talking about dude with a Pulitzer Prize, you know what I mean? For a rap album. But normally he is, and in this situation, he also had some subtle nods, but overall, I think that my expectation was that he would go way harder, like the divided United States flag, and I guess like I guess like part of it is all the Uncle Sam, obviously, or the fact that like the United States flag was divided. You had like there was a lot of subtle. Political statements,
because
all comprised of black people. That's the other thing, and that he mentioned 40 acres and a mule. But anyway, let's keep going.
Performance was not about Drake. It was about us, the United States of America, in this moment in American history. That's why he started with squabble up, because that's what we got to do. We have to fight back in order to survive. Kendrick Lamar, the embodiment of swift artistry and Gemini genius, and the first solo rapper to headline a Super Bowl, delivered a performance rich with symbolism, some of which may have been missed on first watch. But I promise you, it's going to be discussed by cultural.
You want him to go harder in this climate where black people have to deal with enough as it is? He signaled to his target audience, and that was enough. Black people perfectly understood what he was talking about, respectfully. Okay, we're leaving that kind of sentiment in 2024. Okay, we're here. We're in here. We're just you're having a conversation with me. Okay, please stop. Like no, we're not doing this. Okay, I'm just telling you what my expectation is. Yes, I thought he would go harder. Okay, yes, at a time when black people are under attack, my expectation was that Kendrick Lamar, black man, would go harder. White guy talking about what black people want. Try not to laugh. Yeah, I know, dude. I know. It's because I'm racist, dude. Come on, get with the program. I'm racist. I'm a white supremacist, man. Okay? That's it. That's who you've been watching this whole time. Shut up. And now chat calling them woke. Can we please not be a parody of the right? No, it's just so annoying. All right? Anyway, let's continue. And before people say, oh, what do you mean? It's Kendrick Lamar. Like, can't he do a normal ass halftime show? Yeah, it's Kendrick Lamar. What are you talking about? It's Kendrick Lamar. It's not like, yeah, if it was J. Cole, my expectations would not be that he comes out with like a political message. Or if he did, it would probably be like very liberal #resistance style. But it's fucking Kendrick Lamar. Jesus Christ. Like, that's it.
Decades to come as one of the first bold protests of the Trump era. And I'm going to tell you right here, baby, I'm so glad that Donald Trump was there to see the blackest halftime performance of all time. He had Samuel L. Jackson as Uncle Sam, dancers dressed in red, white, and blue prison uniforms, creating patterns that resembled and gave us an American flag, symbolizing both patriotism and critique of all the issues in this country regarding equality and the battle for it. The performers in prison uniforms, really was my favorite part. Just think about it. Where America's society wants to relegate us, wants to put us prison, wage slavery, mere entertainment. And at a time when black excellence is under attack, facing false equivalencies and the misguided relevance of the anti-DEI movement, Kendrick Lamar's choreography and visuals underscored a bigger point. The repetition of the flag reinforces both a celebration of who we are, our American identity, and also an indictment of the contradictions that identity holds for all of us, not just black people, not just all of us. So this performance was not about Drake. I know some of you are wondering, you're saying to yourself, so if this performance wasn't about Drake, then what was Like Us all about? Well, Lamar's inclusion of Not Like Us, even in a censored form, brought attention to ongoing debates about accountability and power dynamics. It's about holding public figures, whether they be Donald Trump, Drake, or Elon Musk, accountable for their actions. See, the oligarchs who paid $1 million to attend an inauguration, or an oligarch who paid $200 million to influence a national election, those people, they're not like us.
No, man, it's like that's what people expected him to do. The singleness is key. Stop playing loud. Stop being ghetto, while he's literally telling you in front of your face with eloquent and subtle messages, man, chef's kiss. What? Yeah, that's what I was saying. My criticism of Kendrick Lamar was that he was too black and too ghetto. What the fuck? No, I just don't think it was that profound. Yeah, I mean, he did the whole like black people made this country. That's why they comprised of the flag, and then the flag was divided. The chatter didn't mean you said that. Here's the FD signifier take from this morning.
Let's like get the clear politics out the way. The NFL is a multinational evil corporation, one of the worst. They do millions of dollars worth of propaganda and support for the American military apparatus. He was brought in by Jay-Z. We all know the problems with Jay-Z.
It's not even a risk for Kendrick Lamar. Like, you want him to go harder and risk it, but that was the line Samuel Jackson said, bro. Sometimes I hate watching white men be fragile when us black people want to tell y'all it's not for you to get. I don't care. Okay. At the end of the day, I don't think it's all that serious. I'm just saying, as a fan of Kendrick Lamar, Hassan, you don't know shit about music. It's true. There are a lot of artists out there that engage in political messages that are way above their pay grade. Okay. Or they try to do political messages, and oftentimes they swing and they miss as a consequence of not having a fully flushed out worldview. Kendrick Lamar is not one of these artists. So my expectation there is not for Kendrick to be like, oh, we gotta resist, something along those lines. But instead, my expectation there from Kendrick Lamar is to, at least with the imagery, invoke more anger, potentially, at the administration, at all, the entirety of the government, from a perspective of like where we're at in this moment in time, where American white supremacy has never really gone away. But at this stage, it's becoming even more overt than it was before. Okay. There are, throughout America's experiences with liberalism, there have been times where white supremacy has gotten on the back foot, even though it has very much been a fundamental aspect of American societal development. It's been there. It's never gone away, except now it's being used offensively, more so than in the past couple of decades. That's why I said I think Kendrick Lamar's performance was good, but my expectation was like mind-blowing, because it is Kendrick Lamar, you know? That's it. You talking lib, not gonna lie. I'm talking lib for saying that white supremacy is fundamentally important to American societal development. You think this is a lib take? Anyway, but yeah, there was a decent amount of Drake stuff in there. There was a decent amount of like blackness in it, and the celebration of blackness in it. And I'll just say it like this. It was, I guess, my opinion that Kendrick Lamar did not go hard enough is kind of reaffirmed by the reaction to it, because the reaction to it was basically Republicans doing the same thing that they always do, to be like, well, there's a black person there, this is DEI. Whereas like if he had gone way harder, Ben Shapiro would be having a fucking aneurysm. Instead, he basically turned around and said, I can't understand what he's saying. Classic racism, okay? You can't say that while dressed like that, buddy. True. I am wearing the worst outfit for this. But let's continue.
He would not be allowed
let's see what Unc had to say.
Do much or say much, excuse me, as the halftime performer. And so what ends up happening is we get what Beyonce did, which is we're going to symbolically do something radical. And what that ends up really being is just a co-option of that radical imagery. You know what I'm saying? Where'd it go? What it ends up being is a co-option of that radical energy. And that's really, I don't like that shit. And I'm happy I'm happy Kendrick didn't really do anything. I didn't really like the, so there's a possibility that there's things about the halftime show that I don't fully get yet, and I'll be waiting for other.
Yeah, one of the other funniest parts about this, by the way, is that they also didn't understand, like a lot of right wingers, understandably, did not understand the Uncle Sam reference or the American flag, and they actually thought that it was positive. Like they thought that it was actually America finally, one of the blackest rappers out there at the Super Bowl had the main stage and was like, I'm a patriot. I love the United States of America. Like, obviously that wasn't the point. He wasn't doing that at all. And that point was lost on many Americans because they're very stupid. That's not what I'm saying either. But having said that, I think that there was, I don't know, he could have just like hung a Klansman or something. That's all I'm saying.
People to deep dive into it to say deep dive into it to say, oh, this meant this meant that. I thought the Uncle Sam thing was cute. There's definitely a very purposeful so I think what we got at best was a meta commentary on what it means to be a black celebrity performing this type of event, which is pretty cool. If you didn't catch it, the show basically had 3 acts. Act 1 was Kendrick trying to be himself, right? He starts out with that unreleased song. I think somebody said his name, Bodies. He says the revolution will be televised, which, and we introduce Samuel Jackson. I think it's a very purposeful the line delivery. Sam gets up and says, hey, it's your uncle, Sam. And he says it just like that. And if there's one reach I'll make, I think that's a commentary on Snoop Dogg and Nelly and all of them. Because at the end of the day, they're performing for Donald Trump, right?
Yeah. Snoop Dogg, ironically, Snoop Dogg's been getting cooked up and down the timeline. Part of it is because he very famously in 2016, when artists were doing, Trump bits first time around and talking about how they wanted to perform at the inauguration, Snoop Dogg came out and was like, he said a bunch of words that I will not say, okay, including, but not limited to calling them uncles. Now, Snoop Dogg also famously performed at Trump's inauguration party this time around. So many people brought that back and were like, oh, really, Snoop Dogg? That's how you tell us how you really feel. So I think that there is definitely a nod or a people are pointing to black artists that have caved to the Trump wave and gotten on the Trump train. No, uncle is not a slur. Chatters, come on.
I didn't know that going into it, but that was the performance. And so you have Samuel Jackson as Uncle Sam. Samuel Jackson has a pretty radical background. For those who don't know, like Sam Jack is
true.
was about that life in his youth before he.
Samuel Jackson literally kidnapped a dean. Samuel Jackson is amazing. Samuel Jackson, when he was in college, was insane. I mean, he's awesome. Yes, he was expelled from Morehouse in the 60s for holding Martin Luther King Jr.'s father hostage. They locked board members in a building for 2 days in the protest of the school's curriculum and governance. Included in this group of people who were held hostage was Martin Luther King Jr.'s very own father, Martin Luther King Sr. In 1966, during the height of the Civil Rights Movement, Jackson enrolled at the historically black Morehouse College in Atlanta, the alma mater of Martin Luther King Jr. In 1968, when Martin Luther King Jr. was assassinated, King's body was brought to Atlanta to lie at the state at Spelman College, a historically black women's school adjacent to Morehouse. Yeah. Samuel Jackson in his youth was, let's just say, YouTube drama tubers would be making a lot of videos about how he's a terrorist. Yes. Before you shit yourself, chat. No, they didn't do it directly to kidnap MLK's father. Yeah. Why is that celebrated? I'm uneducated in this regard. Why is that celebrated? Because militancy coming from the Black Panther Party and the Civil Rights Movement, regardless of how much the American education system tries to whitewash it, was on the right side of history. Okay. Jackson attended King's funeral as one of the ushers and then flew to Memphis to join an equal rights protest march that changed the way he taught. I was angry about the assassination, but I wasn't shocked by it. I knew that change was going to take something different. Not sit-ins, not peaceful coexistence. He stated in an interview with Parade about his reactions to King's death. In 1969, as mentioned before, he and a group of activist Morehouse students held the college's board of trustees hostage, demanding that changes be made to the curriculum of the school and stated that they wanted more blacks on the governing board of the institution. Morehouse eventually gave in and agreed to the change, but Jackson was expelled for his actions. That summer, he became connected with people in the Black Power movement, including Stokely Carmichael, H-Rap Brown and others. I was in that radical faction, Jackson told Parade. We were buying guns, getting ready for armed struggle. All of a sudden, he said proudly, I felt I had a voice. I was somebody. I could make a difference. But then one day he added quietly, my mom showed up and put me on a plane to LA. She said, do not come back to Atlanta. The FBI had been to her house and told her that if I didn't get out of Atlanta, there was a good possibility I'd be dead within a year. She freaked out. Anyway, the best part of the halftime show is the conservative meltdown over it. I'm just saying that there wasn't even that much conservative meltdown over it, partially because I feel like it was, the messaging was subtle and also did not go as hard as I thought it would. That was the point I was trying to make, at least. No wonder he killed it as Steven in Django. Yeah. All right, let's continue.
He got into acting. There's a story about him.
A lot of conservatives are also duped by the invocation of the American flag. Like, they literally are too stupid to understand anything.
At Morehouse College, and some other students taking over a campus building to protest something. I don't remember the full story, but he was about that life. So using Sam Jack there was cool. And so you see at the beginning, Kendrick is being a bit more aggressive, and you're like, oh, maybe we will get something that is provocative. Again, I want to be clear. I wasn't looking or desiring anything provocative from Kendrick here. I'm still refining. I'm developing new takes on like what I want from Black art in our political reality right now. But I do know for a fact that I don't want half measures from Black artists anymore. I don't want them to try to have their cake and eat it too and end up just doing something that's co-opted and counterinsurgent. I just over that. That's just another thing. Sound mixing was ass. We'll get to that in a second.
That was the other part of it. It was definitely, the sound mixing was like shockingly bad, where he came out blown out. You could, or his voice, you could not hear. The music was way louder.
Still, like, normally I haven't had a coffee yet. We'll see how sharp this is. Let me check on, because my kid should be leaving. Rohan. Okay. Which are both actually relatively aggressive tracks. We get this American flag motif. I've had a lot of people read that differently. I stand by the point I said earlier, which is not earlier, but like months ago when I talked about this, which is I'm not much for reclaiming the American flag. I'm sure there's a logic behind it, but it falls flat for me. However, it is clear he was trying to say something there. What? I'm not sure. Again, I'll be waiting for other people to really break this down and like give the full talk on all the different symbology. I do think it was purposeful that the American flag was made up of all Black men, right? Yeah. There's something to that. That's not an accident that he got all Black men to make up this American flag, and they're not standing there like it's a very, there's people saying, well, this is speaking to how America's built off our backs, or to the relevance of Black men's voting patterns. I don't know, but it was something I didn't quite get it. And it wasn't overly, whatever it was, I don't think it was meant to be very explicit or demonstrative in his messaging. I think he just wasn't allowed to do that. And, fine. Like, again, I wouldn't have wanted him to do much more than that because it's on the fucking Super Bowl. It's just, I don't know. To me, it makes more sense to do something not so provocative on that stage because it immediately becomes co-opted. There's a great video. I think Broy Deschanel made it. And I also talked, I don't know, this particular take developed to me all at once. I got it from a Broy Deschanel video. It probably was Dr. Ball. Looking forward to what Dr. Ball says about this. I'm sure he'll have some classic stuff on it. And somebody else, they talked about the fact that there's a thing called jester's privilege. Broy Deschanel talked about it with the Barbie movie. And basically, it's a really slick, like, co-op counterintelligence type thing that happens with these giant corporations and these giant media companies where they will allow themselves to be critiqued on their platforms, in their media. They will say, yeah, you can like the Barbie movie. Oh yeah, call us all the things. Call and tell all the things. Talk all about all the bad parts of our company, but in our movie. And so what they do in doing that is they immediately undercut the critique. You know what I'm saying? So having Barbie be criticized heavily within a Barbie movie, it ends up being a half measure. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm happy that Kendrick didn't go much further than he did because I'd have been more annoyed by him doing something more grand on the NFL's dime. It's just, that's me. I'm sure there's a take that's different that I don't get. And I'm looking forward to hearing those. Maybe I'll change my mind, but that was me. So he plays the hits. Then SZA comes out. He throws a little jab at Drake. We'll get to that in a second too. SZA comes out. They do some more hits. And then Sam Jack comes again. Sam Jack comes a second time to correct him. He has probably the most overtly provocative moment was the snippet of Man at the Garden he did, where he was on the corner, and it's all these very overtly black male images on the corner with him under the streetlight. Brother with locks and golds. Everybody's got white tees and jeans. So that again speaks to this motif of like us not going anywhere, us being a black people, black men specifically, being a clear part of the national fabric. Yeah, cool. And then SZA comes out, and yeah, somebody said it.
It's not in the NFL dime. FD is an L for this. Artists have to pay for their performances. I don't know how many times I have to reiterate this position. Is not Kendrick Lamar is not a regular artist. Okay, like I understand. Like I think the expectation is that he's supposed to go above and beyond. You know what I mean? And no, it's not the NFL paying for it. This is Apple. I think Apple Music paying for it. I agree with up to the point he says it's the wrong stage. Messaging being co-opted or modified by the platform and critiques, at least it brings light to the way in which it disallows or manipulates it and plays it for its own purpose.
Oh no, I don't agree with this. Everybody's mic was trash. SZA's mic, SZA did not feel ready for the spotlight at the moment. I don't know if that was just mixing in the thing, but the sound was so much louder than her. It was so much louder than her. Like I could barely hear her on All the Stars. You know, it's just,
at least we can all agree that the sound mixing was bad. I'm glad that we can at least agree on that front, because everyone is yelling at me saying you don't understand. He did an insane amount. He was basically Che Guevara. And I don't think he went that hard, but
you know, cool. Then Sam Jack comes out,
but I don't think SZA was blown out in the same way that Kendrick's audio was definitely quiet. I think SZA's was, I believe SZA's might have been pre-recorded. I don't understand how the Super Bowl does the Super Bowl is the largest live performance and they still have yet to figure out sound mixing. Like, how is that? Girl, what you talking about? Hoscord hates you? Oh no, I can't believe Hoscord hates me. No, what will I do? I am, after all, I am captive to my audience. And I would dare never say a take that most of my community disagrees with. They have like 5 minutes to set everything up. They can't soundtrack with a full crowd. I just don't understand how. Like, it doesn't make any sense. There's obviously also the self-censorship due to it being broadcasted on television. There's a lot of words that you can't say, which I think takes away from the performance. That's understandable. But let's continue.
And he like kind of speaks to the fact like, all right, you did good. Everything was safe. We go home, and the audio engineer was not ready for the big game. We good. We go home, and then he comes back and he does Not Like Us and turn the TV off. I'll come back to Not Like Us.
I guess it's so incredibly difficult to fix the sound for that huge of an area of a live broadcast. You're crazy. Yeah, it might be because you're right. I don't know the technicalities. I don't know. So I don't know how it would work. Getting cooked. What is unexpected from Kendrick? The history of all hitherto existing society is a class struggle. Yes, that is unironically, that is what I expected from Kendrick Lamar. Why? It's Kendrick Lamar. So yes, I think it's crazy to not expect that, but you're
off.
Okay. Whatever.
He does only the second verse. With the mustard part. I don't know if that's maybe the third verse. Is there 2 verses? I don't know. I gotta go back. I don't know how the song works. And so turn the TV off. Has a again some subversive stuff going on there. You know, it has a game motif at the beginning, and so this is my take right now. Again, Kendrick is recognizing that he's a part of a game and playing a game, and turning the TV off. A lot of people did. The Super Bowl lost 1.8 million watchers after the the halftime show, from what I hear.
Okay, to be fair, I think that had more to do with not Kendrick Lamar's performance, but the performance of the Chiefs. Yeah, I think that was the real reason why people turned the TV off. I'm gonna be honest. I think that was, if you're in any way, shape, or form invested in the Chiefs winning, whether you have a financial interest in the Chiefs winning or at least not getting comstered, I think that was probably the reason why you turned the TV off, or you broke your television by directly Superman punching it because you were down, I don't know, whatever disposable income you dumped into this game. So I think that's probably what it was.
And maybe there's a through line between the revolution will be televised and turn the TV off that I'm just now thinking about, because my takeaway and thing I would like to put out there from the halftime show is people need to stop looking for artists and people like Kendrick to be revolutionary. Take your ass outside. I saw a lot of people that seem to be upset and angry that Kendrick didn't do something bigger and more demonstrative.
Me.
Trump there with America watching, after this election with all the stuff happening in the world, in our government right now, et cetera. And you want Kendrick to come and be your catharsis for all the things that you need to be handling yourself. And he's like, nah, turn the TV off. That's how I'm gonna take it. I fucks with that one. You know what I'm saying? Lil Bill on the track. Congratulations to Lil Bill. I ain't even talked about the fact where Bill go. I lost him in the chat. But the Eagles did win. What was I saying though? So like I think that's the best he could have did. Would I have, as a Kendrick fan and a person suffering in this current political reality right now, I would have loved for something big and overt and dynamic from Kendrick for this Super Bowl performance. I would have loved that. That would have been amazing. But I don't think that would have been the right thing, because what we don't need from our artists right now is catharsis. Whatever desire you had for Kendrick to go up there and do something big and grand and meaningful that makes you feel like you're part of the resistance just by watching him.
A different black person expecting activism from that, like that from Kendrick, when he also gave us Mike Brown would have not been killed if he respected ourselves and didn't loot, is goofy. And people expecting him to be a voice for black people's corny. Malcolm X said something about this, like, why do our activists have to be musicians and athletes? I think it's just because it's still Kendrick Lamar. It's not like any kind of, like, it's not just like a random dude. It's not like a random popular mainstream celebrity. That's it. Having said that, I still enjoyed the performance, which, many people are taking issue with me saying that he didn't go hard enough. But stat nerd, Super Bowl viewers is very meh as a metric. It depends on the game. Literally in 2015, 16, 17, the halftime show had more views than the actual game because the games were shit. Almost all of them lose viewership at halftime because later night East Coast is a break and not everyone comes back. Normal stuff. But he does not do politics. Wait, what? Kendrick Lamar does not do politics? What are you saying? That's all Kendrick Lamar does. What is happening right now? What? This is crazy. If he went any further, he would have had the entire Republican propaganda machine after him today, Law. I don't know. I think, like, overall, I think that there is a feeling of capitulation in the air from any kind of resistance against the Trump administration, the acceleration towards fascism. And I feel like this was this like more softened approach. I don't know why we can't let artists be artists. We don't have this level of expectation from anyone, let alone our elected officials, only because it's Kendrick Lamar. My expectation would not be the same from any other artist. But once again, I will repeat this position. I liked it. I just thought that it didn't go as hard. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Them not to do that for you.
But there is no expectation that celebrities, or at least for me, there's no expectation that celebrities are going to save us. That's it.
To force you to sit in that energy, I think that's the best possible thing he could have done. That's how I feel about it. I didn't want a big grand thing from him. I wanted exactly what we got. What we got was a cool, somewhat provocative, a couple little nuggets, halftime show with just enough meat where people feel like there was something there, and maybe he was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. Again, I'll let other people analyze and come up with their takes, and then we move on. Oops, where to go? Yeah, there you go. I think I hyped it up to be bigger after I heard the president would be there, and knowing who Kendrick is, I should have known better. Yeah. You can't, you cannot, and you should not. Like anybody that feels, if you felt vexed after Kendrick's performance because it didn't give you the catharsis, take that energy to the streets this weekend. Go to a meeting, hit some Google, see what I guarantee you there's a mutual aid fund in your city or state you could be donating to.
BLM is not politics, it's self-preservation. I think you're confused. Self-preservation as a black is not politics. Can you name a political thing from Kendrick that isn't just common sense? Everything isn't politics to everybody. I mean, black existence in America is political in a white supremacist society. Accurately mentioning that those experiences is obviously political. I'm so confused as to how there are people in this community, a community of political commentary, having these kinds of takes. I'm a little confused. Hakeem Jeffrey saying, what leverage do we have is the epitome of the lingering feeling of capitulation. Yeah, that's just how I feel about it. And I will admit that even I myself, as a political commentator, kind of feel rudderless as well. But that's just kind of how things are at this moment.
You could be doing so many things to get you that same catharsis that are actually more meaningful and useful than having a big celebrity say the thing for you on TV. Kendrick is not your savior. We're 3-4 years deep into that slogan at this point. But the only other thing that's bad about it is the vocal qualities. Kendrick. So it hit me that Kendrick is the first rapper to completely do the Super Bowl by himself. And the last time we had, it was Dr. Dre and Snoop and
Where are you
Kendrick
going?
and Eminem. And that was pretty good, but they got to split the the effort. And like, I don't know if y'all understand, especially for a rapper, it's hard for a singer too, but for a rapper, that's a really hard performance. Like to be running around doing limited choreography, to remember all your lyrics, to cut out the curse words, to do a lot of that. That is top tier breath control. Like, people don't know, like, rapping is not easy to do, period. It's not easy to do live, and you add choreography and running around a stadium or a football field to get that crisp Cedric like that. that was really impressive. If only the audio engineer could hold up his end of the bargain. It was very, very, very impressive in that regard. All right, let's talk about the Drake slander.
I'm betting so many of these shadows are not in an effort to get some of that delicious algorithmic boost on Twitter. Once again, the Surfs actually comes out with a good take here as well. Crazy idea. Play a halftime show where a band plays music. Bold decision to hire a halftime performer. Like Matt Walsh wants polka or something. You know what I mean? I don't understand. Why can't someone just come out there and play the accordion? I'm Matt Walsh. That would be something that we really enjoy. Bizarre decision by the NFL to have some guy come out and lethargically mumble a bunch of songs that 90% of the NFL audience has never heard. Bold decision to hire a halftime performer who doesn't actually perform. And the Surfs is right. The right has complete and total control, and they're still annoyed and upset. They just love to complain. They love complaining. There is nothing the right likes more than complaining, okay? This music is not my style. Some people are saying, yes, how? Does anyone actually like this crap? It's just like, what do you want? You are dominating. You got everything you wanted. Trump is president. He's popular, okay? He's gutting the federal agencies. He's doing everything you wanted. Egg prices are through the roof due to the avian flu, with seemingly no control over this this problem, okay? It's now patriotic to pay more for goods. It's officially patriotic to pay more for goods. And y'all are still complaining. It doesn't make any sense. When will the complaints go away? The Hogs want Jelly Roll to do the halftime show. Yeah.